Welcome back to the 5. All right, a Tucson judge telling a school district not so fast when it comes to their Mexican-American studies program. They ruled, Kimberly, I want to go to you first, that this violates state law. It says that this is not constitutional. I mean, did the judge do the right thing here?
Well, yeah, basically the ruling said that they violated this program, the Mexican-American Studies program, violated state law by having one or more classes specifically designed for just one ethnic group. So that's basically excluding the others. I mean, it's an interesting ruling. It's from an administrative law judge, and the question is whether or not this is going to be, have far-reaching implications. I mean, there's a lot of discussion on both sides about it.
Didn't they say that the class promoted resentment? It was a very specific charge.
The judge said that such teaching promotes activism against white people, promotes racial resentment, and advocates ethnic solidarity.
Right, and so we've had some cases like this that are very similar. But I mean, the judge is trying to make a point. Why are you going to favor this one particular Mexican American study to the exclusion of others? What is going to be the impact on the other students in the class if they don't have their own ethnic studies program? Are you favoring them?
Yeah. But one of the problems that I have with this is it says specifically the law permits objective instruction about the oppression of people that may result in racial resentment or ethnic solidarity. We have classes throughout the country in African American studies, and when they talk about whites being demonized, hey, I'm white. Whites did a lot of horrific things. Slavery was a horrific thing. The Holocaust was a horrific thing. There are Holocaust and Judaic studies, African American studies. I have a problem with this because Huppenthal, he is a Republican who voted in favor of this when he needed the Latino vote. But now that he's the head of the schools and he really doesn't, now he's saying this is not such a good idea. I want to see what specifically...
Are you calling him a flip-flopper?
Oh, God.
There are so many school districts, though, that are... I mean, we had the Texas school district that required Arabic studies. The parents pushed back because they said, well, what if I don't want my kid indoctrinated into that type of thing? And then they moved back. And California, you're from California, Leslie, that place is riddled with ridiculous rules and regulations. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, I believe California just passed a law that requires gay and lesbian studies in every public school classroom.
I think we talked about that here on the 5, which begs the question, whatever happened to reading, writing, and arithmetic, Greg? I mean, is this really going to help us dealing with our overseas issue?
I hate diversity courses, and I'm half and half. I'm half elf and half pixie.
And I thought you were also a women's studies major.
But I don't need a special school because I'm half pixie and half elf. These courses... they encourage a balkanization. They encourage people to think about who they are instead of what they do. And if you talk to kids these days, which I do, race doesn't enter the picture. They're too busy sexting. There's not like they don't see color. They don't. I mean, if you talk about bigotry, like let's say kids in their teens, they look at you like you're from another era.
Are you talking to kids these days?
Well, it's part of my outreach program. You know I do a lot of charity work, Eric. I'm disgusted by your laughter.
I guess the larger question is, though, should taxpayer dollars be spent on this type of education, homosexual education, Hispanic American? What do you think?
Well, in Tucson, you have to remember there's a large Hispanic population. So in Tucson, they may say, yes, we'd like that. And in addition, what bothers me about this Arizona specifically is this is just April 2010. If Arizona had never passed the immigration bill, this would not be an issue. We wouldn't even be talking about it tonight. That's what I think.
Well, I'm not seeing
Kimberly, you think they appeal?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And throughout the appeal hearing, and they also can take it up to the Superior Court, they're saying that the only way they can rectify this situation is to disband, suspend the program entirely, and then rebuild the entire thing so that it isn't anything that, fosters resentment or hostility or singles out a
Kids
class.
don't need to be told that they're different. They don't. They need to, have fun and learn real things about life.
Well, if the judge ruled that it's pitting one race against the other and promoting racial resentment, that becomes the question. Do taxpayer dollars go to promoting racial resentment? Okay, speaking...
And multiculturalism and the whole...
Right. Speaking of Hispanics, new poll out showing that Obama slipped with Hispanic voters, but still he trounces Republicans when it comes to getting that critical vote with Latinos. His approval's at 54%, disapprove 32%, no opinion 10%. So what do you make of this, Leslie? I mean, does he have this constituency locked up?
See. Bueno.
Es verdad?
No, absolutely. There's no question. And quite frankly, this whole decision in Tucson with the schools doesn't help the Republicans with the Latino voters.
But see, I don't understand that because generally Latinos are more conservative. They're more religious. They're family-oriented. Look at Kimberly, for example. Then stop looking at her because it could actually ruin your brain. But no, the fact is, no, in a good way. But they're generally more conservative in terms of family values and religion. But they are Republicans. But they just don't know it yet.
They want a pathway to citizenship, though, which you guys call amnesty. They want a pathway to citizenship. They want the Dream Act.
I'm still trying to figure this out. When Latinos who are here who can vote, they have done the process to become citizens and the ability to vote, why are they in favor of an amnesty program? I mean, if I were them, I'd be like, look, I did it. You guys should do it too. Go through the process. Do what it takes to become
They're not all in favor. Wait, Latinos you're saying are all in favor of
I'm saying the
amnesty
Democrats on the left are saying that Latinos are in favor of amnesty, as is the Obama administration, when the reality is maybe they're in favor of getting more votes and not necessarily the reason for amnesty.
Well, the
by the
number
way,
one
Newt
issue among
Gingrich and Bush
Latinos is not amnesty, it's the economy and its jobs. That's the big issue. But I agree with you. Republicans have a huge demographic they could go after. George Bush did it very well. He got the highest percentage out of any president.
Right.
But I think Republicans have dropped the ball. You're right. The messages
of the Hispanic
resonate. Kimberly, why aren't they doing it?
2004.
Rick Perry's done
Kimberly,
it.
what have you done?
I mean, do you know what I do after hours? Before the show? After the show? Really? Slacker.
What do you do?
A lot. I'm community outreach. La Raza. Call me.
Outreach.
Outreach.
I think that's a martini. I'll have the outreach.
Eric,
Three olives.
who do you think out of the GOP field would be the best one to challenge Obama with the Hispanic community?
With the Hispanic community, maybe Rick Perry now because of his
Jeb Bush.
Yeah, he
heartless
did.
comments.
Jeb Bush.
Yeah, I would say probably Rick Perry.
Another Bush.
And Mitt Romney up against President Obama when it comes to Latinos, 68-23. Romney is at 23%. Sounds like the GOP
That's an abysmal number.
has some work to do. It is, but I still think it's possible to make some inroads, and I think you're shaking your head. Yes.
Don't
and
tell them. Don't
we're
tell
not
them
the
about that
GOP
part.
is not going to leave anything on the table this election, so you bet. All right, coming up, some researchers out in Berkeley claim poor people are better than rich people. Greg, a California guy, will try to explain that ridiculous comment next.
Who've ever had a broken heart? Who've wished upon a shooting star?